Welcome. It's indisputable. Good to be with you. We have a lot of show on the agenda today. I'm still with you. A little bit under the weather. I do not have COVID. I just have a regular ass cold. And I feel like I'm winning. As I said before, I have a stuffy nose, sore throat. I'm coughing, I'm sneezing. These are regular symptoms. I can do this all day. All right, we got a lot on the agenda. Breaking down news of the day, none other than Senator Nina Turner, TYT contributor, former Ohio State Senator. She's part of the team here at the TYT Network. Ex-cop who turned NASA executive fired 7 shots into his black neighbor, killing his neighbor. And while he was a cop, he killed 2 other people then too. All right, let me bring you to Michael Hetley. Michael Hetley, a former police officer who later became an executive for NASA, has been found guilty of first-degree murder for killing his black neighbor. Hetley, who was white, let's put up the pictures. Hetley, who was white, had reportedly been feuding with the 24-year-old Javon Prather for years. The former cop who killed 2 people in the line of duty, and let me remind you, 99% of cops will never kill anybody in the line of duty. He killed 2, now 3 people in life. Claimed authorities did little to assist when he made complaints about loud noise and dog droppings that he claimed were emanating from his neighbor's next door townhouse in Springfield, Virginia. On Thursday, October 14th, a jury found 54-year-old Virginia man guilty of shooting the Maryland National Guardsman 7 times. March 2020 is when this happened. Hetley's own Ring video doorbell captured the moments when his front door opened and he began firing at Prather, who was standing on the porch. So this young black male knocks on the door. He knocks on the door, and here comes Hetley, the guy who's a former cop and already has killed 2 people, got 2 bodies on him. He comes out, literally guns blazing. 6 months before the incident, Prather was spotted in a video driving by Hetley's home, shouting at him. During trial, Hetley's attorney argued that the man acted in self-defense in the daily shooting and thought Prather had a gun. The jury did not buy it because it was a damn lie. That's why they didn't buy it. However, the Fairfax County Commonwealth's attorney argued that this was not self-defense and that it was murder in the first degree, which is murder with malice and murder with premeditation. And the attorney told the outlet that the video footage from the home security system played a crucial role in Hetley's conviction. Think about it. Think about it. This guy, former cop, has already killed 2 people in the line of duty, okay? 2. He's a former cop. Now, none of that was reported to any national database. No national database whatsoever had any of that information. You know why? Because it's not mandated. The George Floyd Policing and Accountability Act would have mandated that. That's your policy connection. And maybe he doesn't get the job at NASA if there's an actual transparent database that says, hey, this man is dangerous. But that didn't happen. And he is so emboldened that he decides to kill his neighbor, who was unarmed, who was not threatening his life, nor the life of his family. And now his neighbor is dead. But this man was a problem well before that killing. Literally, bad policy kills people. Let me say that again. Bad policy kills people. Case in point, Senator Turner, you're a big policy person. What do you see here? What are your thoughts?
No, I agree with you, Doug. And I'm so glad you always bring up policy because it's vitally important and it has to be consequences. And there should be a national database by which all members of law enforcement, their records are kept there so that as they're moving from place to place, people know what kind of law enforcement officer they are. Looking at what happened to Javon just really within seconds, this man shot Javon several times, just reminded me of what happened in Cleveland in 2014 to young Tamir Rice, who was a 12-year-old little boy.
That's right.
On a playground, playing on a playground, and in less than 2 seconds of the police officers arriving on the scene, he was shot and killed. No questions asked, no put down your weapon, nothing. Even though he had a toy weapon, but I'm saying none of that. Even if they didn't know whether it was a toy or not put it down. Don't move, none of that. Just out the car, like you said, just guns blazing. So I'm really glad that the jury saw through this and convicted this man. But we need something larger to happen in this country. And I can't tell you how sick and tired, to quote Fannie Lou Hamer, sick and tired of being sick and tired, because it makes no sense that the Congress has not passed the George Floyd Act. Makes no sense whatsoever and it's unacceptable. But if and until then, we need states and local governments to take action. They can do that. Right.
Exactly, you make a great point because local jurisdictions, they have been taking leadership here, right? And you have some states, they're moving in the right direction. You also have some prosecutors who are becoming very creative in how they utilize what's called prosecutorial discretion. And they are creating de facto criminal justice reform without the statutory language around it, because they do have that discretion. And so there's more than one way to skin a cat, as my grandmother would say. I really don't need much commentary on this foolishness. This is a whole damn math teacher, okay? This person is a trained educator. Here's what this trained educator decided to do in her classroom. Here it is.
I don't know, tomahawks? I don't know, is that right? What's that? Okay. So got to what? 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 So got to what?
The students don't really find that amusing. There's a Native American student in there who found it quite offensive. I find it offensive as well. Let me give you some background to this story. Her name is Candace Reed of John W. North High School. This is in California. According to multiple reports, was filmed by a student in her math class. The student is Native American. All of this was quite ridiculous. That's obvious. The student started recording. Now, it's against policy typically to record in a classroom, but the student started recording because the student felt that violence was being committed against him and that he had the right to record. And I agree 100%. That was extreme. Now, understand this. That's the person, and I want to make a connection here. The person is your implicit or aggressive bias. I don't know which one, but it's one or the other, okay? It's damn offensive. And then there's the institutional bias. Where's the institutional bias? The institution, the school, has said nothing. They are not commenting. They are being silent. They are trying to cover this up. They are trying to provide cover for the teacher. Here's what we're going to do. Let's put up a screenshot of Ms. Reed, Candace Reed. Let's make sure people know who she is. She obviously likes to perform. She wants to be on camera. There you go. All right, that's the teacher, math teacher, okay? Let me also go ahead and share all of the information for the school system. Let's put that up. Now, I'm going to say it like this, okay? Keep playing games as it relates to racism in this country and in your institutions by protecting those who engage in this manner. If you do that, then I only have your institution as a way of contact and point of contact. Let's put it up again. I don't think everybody saw it. Put it up again. You can call and or email the following officials. Principal Jody Gonzalez, that's the number, that's the email address. Deputy Superintendent Tim Walker, that's the number, that's the email address. Assistant Superintendent Dr. Ryan Lewis, and also the Superintendent Hill. Somebody needs to respond, period. All right, Senator Turner, I saw you watching this, shaking your head, because it actually gets worse as it continues.
It does. It was very painful to watch and to listen to this foolery. Wish I could say something much stronger than that, but I'm really glad that you have identified the leadership of this high school. This teacher needs to stick to teaching math. Nothing more, nothing less. Stay at your skill set. Don't step out of your skill set, stay with math. And I was reading along the text chain, or excuse me, the tweet chain, where some folks are saying she's been doing this since 2012, I believe. So this is nothing new for her. So she's been doing it because she ain't been checked on this. And the idea that it is okay to misappropriate, really take out of context and belittle actually Native American or the indigenous culture of Native Americans is beyond shameful, Doc. It is. I know I got to keep it PG, so I'm just gonna stay right there. But very painful to watch. I'm glad that student recorded. I'm sorry that they had to endure that, but I'm glad that it's out in the open, and there should be some consequences and repercussions.
Yeah, the academic environment should really be an inclusive environment. It is a space for growth, for intellectual discussion, but also for social progression. And when an educator does something like that, and it pisses me off because I'm an educator, when an educator does something like that, it alienates certain students from the learning moment. How can you learn when you're offended like that? How can you learn when you feel marginalized in such a manner? You cannot. You sit there and you sit there quietly, and the barrier comes up. You're not learning, you're upset, you're offended, you're trying to work through it. All right.
And Dr. One more point today, it reinforces stereotypes too.
It does. It does. There's a school board member, right wing, obviously, okay? A school board candidate who has been outed as a white supremacist. You see the picture. This is in suburban Milwaukee, has been shamed. This alleged white supremacist school board candidate has been shamed into deleting her Twitter account after racist and homophobic tweets. Scarlett Johnson, let's put up a picture. Scarlett Johnson, who is one of the organizers behind the McQuan-Thiensville school board recall election, may have made those tweets disappear, but the controversy surrounding them seems to stay, okay? A couple of the tweets shared with the Journal Sentinel include one last year when Johnson sarcastically tweeted, "Yeah, the threat of white supremacy keeps me up at night," with those fateful words posted alongside a picture of a sloth yawning. She later tweeted without any hint of sarcasm that, and I quote, "There exists no white supremacist group in the history of America that has taken more black lives than Planned Parenthood." Huh. Yeah. This is the same person who actually denies being a white woman, okay? So Johnson denied being a white woman and said she is actually Puerto Rican, has previously been a victim of racism. This is classic Karenicity here, by the way, which she points to as proof of her inability to be racist. She says she does not have the capacity to be racist because of that particular background. She said, and I quote, "Very hard to prove I'm not a white supremacist," her words. "But considering I have ethnic, curly, very dark hair, I'd probably not be a very good white supremacist." Once again, she said, very hard to prove I'm not a white supremacist. It goes on. Johnson, who was named to former Wisconsin Lieutenant Governor and current Republican gubernatorial candidate Rebecca Kleefisch campaigns, a grassroots leaderboard on Twitter, also offered up a transphobic question. How many gay men want to date men with vaginas? Now remember, she's running for school board, okay? When you're on the school board, you represent a very diverse group of young people, students, as well as parents. That's every school board, okay? But these are the things that she continues to say. Prior to deleting her Twitter account, Johnson liked a tweet that supported the idea of wanting to abolish public schools and outlaw teachers' unions. Those are the tweets. We have the proof. Yeah. But here's the kicker, everybody. She's actually not the only racist person running for that school board position. There are others who are running who have said very similar things. So she's basically a candidate who has engaged in white supremacist talk, bigoted talk, racist talk, and homophobic talk. But she ain't the only one in that race. Isn't that something? Senator Turner, we said this was going to start happening, that people like this, the worst among us, will seek political power. And here it is.
And they will continue to do so. I mean, they definitely do feel emboldened. And this woman should be nowhere near a school board. And let me just clear this up. Systemic racism, is different from an individual being a bigot.
That's right.
And anybody can be a bigot, anybody can be prejudiced.
Yep.
So her throwing up that she might not be white, it doesn't matter if she was purple or green, she is a bigot. And there is something called anti-blackness, and it was on full display with this woman. Now, when we talk about systems, she is running for a school board, which is a body of power. If she is successful within that body of power, the system itself can be racist, and that is a power relationship. Doc, we need to have a whole show and educate folks. So she can't run away from it. Anybody, not just white people, can be anti-black, can subscribe to racism, bigotry. People of color can be bigots and prejudiced. But when we talk about systemic racism and a power dynamic, that's when we tease out, where people stand based on their ethnic heritage or their racial identity. But she's a bigot, no doubt.
Yeah, and the racism, I tell my college students this to hit on your point, Senator. The racism that we typically discuss is structural. We're talking about structural racism, right? That means if you're not actively deconstructing structural racism, you are either a volunteer as participant or you are unwilling as a participant, but the outcome is the same for those who experience the bias of structural racism. So if you're not engaging in deconstructing that model, you are engaging in protecting and constructing the model. All right, we got more on the other side. It's indisputable. Stick and stay. All right, welcome back. So here's the thing, I know 2 times, this is my second time not wearing a tie on Indisputable. The first time I had on my I Wish a Karen Would t-shirt. The second time I have on me. Yes, the merchandise is available. Literally, these folks at TYT made a shirt with my picture on it, okay? I love it. all right? You can get that merchandise, shoptyt.com, shoptyt.com, all right? Make that happen. And we're looking at the anti-Karen shirts. We're looking at it. I got some emails going with the team. It's in high demand. Power Hour tonight. Power Hour with Senator Nina Turner after the Young Turks at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Yeah, villain superhero type thing. She's a superhero. But let me tell you something, she's more like Batman, which means she can be the villain if she needs to, okay? She can do both. Get your membership right now, tyt.com/join, tyt.com/join. Remember we covered a story a few days ago about Miss Chantel Arnold. She was walking, brutally assaulted by a sheriff deputy in Jefferson Parish, that's Louisiana. She had already been assaulted by a group of teenagers. He assaulted her again. She got charged with nothing, got her head bashed, got a body bashed, thrown around like a rag doll. Well, that police agency is playing games too. They don't want to release the name of the deputy. They don't want to tell us details about the investigation, how they're looking into this. All right, so we are starting a petition. We started this petition yesterday. Already has well over 4,000 signatures. We want to get it to 10,000 before this week is out, okay? Real simple, go to tyt.com/petitions, tyt.com/petitions. It's the first petition on that page, all right? Make sure you sign it. Make sure you take the link, get others in your orbit to sign it as well, all right? We're gonna get 10,000 signatures in support of Chantel Arnold. And remember, the reason why cops do this to individuals who are victims in particular is because they don't believe that person is connected to a community. Well, we wanna let them know she's connected to a strong community, all right? Okay, reactions with Rayvana after Indisputable, twitch.tv/TYT. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Beautiful stuff. And don't forget to watch The Conversation and all of that great jazz, beautiful things over there. You can watch all of those interviews at youtube.com/TYT Conversation, but join live, tyt.com/live. Boom. Let me read some of these amazing comments. Mickey C, the silver-haired dragon says, so now not cleaning up after one's dog is a capital offense. To that guy was. Colorado Blue Blazer regular, a math problem for that math teacher. One really stupid thought, plus one really stupid person, plus one complete lack of judgment equals X. Solve for X. Yeah. Potion seller, I'm speechless. What kind of drugs was she on to do this so comfortably in front of her students? Eric the Red, I guess we'll have to hope they split the racist vote, talking about those school board members running. Yeah. YouTube super chat, Bernie the Kiwi Dragon. Is having a gun even a defense anymore in a country flooded with guns? Izzy Roberts, in the UK, when applying for any responsible job, you're obliged to a CRB check. Check your criminal history. This is the sort of thing that needs to be done in the US. Yep. Rosie, the teacher is a shipwreck. That goes without saying. Moon Dragon, this is why native dress is banned in costume stores. That's exactly right. Andres Polgarin, how do you as an educator wake up in the morning and think, yeah, I want to teach this lesson that way? And according to the narrative, she had been doing this for years. All right. Twitch, Tahira Kathleen, I swear once they kill one person, killing more gets easier each time. It's possible. It's a damn shame. Mark Bugs, AKA MBZ. How are you so awesome, Dr. Richey? I need to take a like and life purpose course or somewhere else with you. We need more role models like you and the Nina Turner. So happy that our black boys and girls have role models that are not just ball players or rappers. Thanks for reminding us you can be great no matter what. And that's right, you can be great as a ball player and rapper too. You know, I may have to give this Karen a pass because some people tell me I don't smoke, but some people tell me when you're having a nicotine craving, it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish a Karen would.
You want to call the police on them for having a barbecue on a Sunday?
I feel free! Back off!
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
I'm sick of it! I'm just sick of it!
Whoa. No, just calm down now, calm down. All I want to say is you just need to...
Mate, please. I will throw what I want. I tell you what. Give me a packet of patches. I might as well have them. Because when I come here and don't get what I'm bloody ass for them all, you might as well give me a packet of bloody patches. I'm sick of it. I'm not having it. Don't laugh at me, mate. I'll f***ing have ya.
Oh, no.
Go on, get him.
Manager.
Get him now.
Oh, no.
So let me say this. The way she took off her coat inside of that store reminded me of my homeboy, Nard from Glenwood Road. Anytime it was time for it to go down, he took off his coat the exact same way. Sometimes he did it, he didn't even have on a coat. I don't understand how he did it, he pulled it off. All right, here's the thing. This particular Karen wanted cigarettes, they were out of cigarettes. So she wanted nicotine patches. She needed a nicotine fix. So remember, we are keeping a log of Karenicity. So it looks to me that Karenicity combined with a nicotine need is deadly. This was a hell of a combination. She was willing to engage in physical combat because the store simply did not have it. Now remember, this is not the only store. You can go to the other store. I'm sure no matter where you are, the other store exists somewhere. Nina Turner, Senator Turner, I don't know. I'm holding her 80% responsible because people tell me that when you have a nicotine craving, it's hell. So what are your thoughts?
That's what I'm told too. I mean, I never smoked, but certainly I've had lots of people in my life who did smoke, and it's like it's an itch, baby. You can't shake it. It can only be scratched if you get that nicotine fix. And Karen was ready to go to blows, baby, over that cigarette or nicotine patch. Don't get in the way.
Don't get in the way.
Do not get in the way.
All right. On a more serious note, here's one of those male Karens who really thought because he was able to continue verbally abusing another person and talking down to another person, that the people around him, this particular male Karen, were not paying attention. Well, they decided to rise up. This is what we call our anti-Karens. Here it is.
You're screaming at employees at Walmart. Get out of here.
Not racist.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
The United States doesn't have an official language, jackass. Come on, step to me, you. Come on.
He messed around and found out, didn't he? Okay, you saw what happened here. This individual decided to be verbally aggressive. There's an argument. Everybody stayed out of it. They said, hey, it's an argument between two adults. We're not in it, okay? And then he thought, obviously, well, hell, if nobody's going to say anything about the way I'm talking to this passenger, let me take it a step further. What if and like I said, he messed around and found out. Now listen, I don't condone violence. To me, this was the protection of an individual. This is in the spirit of defense, not the spirit of hyperaggression. This person needed to be stopped because he was physically assaulting another individual, unprovoked, by the way. He was not defending himself. He just wanted to physically assault someone else. But what I'm proud to see here, once again, we're highlighting a dynamic that's happening across America and really globally. You have people standing up, willing to get involved and stopping this kind of behavior as it relates to Karens, male Karens and female Karens, man, woman, whoever it is, because Karenicity is very dangerous, all right? Making a big deal out of something that's not a deal at all. Senator Turner, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you, Doc. I mean, definitely, I'm so glad that they stepped in for this woman and did not let this man put his hands on her. He took it too far and he was met with like force. That's what went down. It reminds me, I mean, I know I bring it up often, but the Cedric the Entertainer skit when he said certain people live by the wish creed and others live by I hope. Well, that was I wish a mofo would moment right there. And I'm glad they stood up and defended Her Honor.
Yeah, and it was so quick. I mean, it was almost as if they were waiting to see if this would happen. They responded,
yeah,
right. Yeah, so even when it seemed as if they were not paying attention, because when you look at the video, it doesn't seem as if the passengers are really involved in the conversation. They're not looking at the conversation. Most of them are actually looking away. They were paying attention. And that's something that, yeah, we need to note that because listen, pay attention, everybody, pay attention. And people are paying attention now more and more. Glad to see these anti-Karens rise to the occasion every time.
Amen.
All right, we got more on the other side. Don't forget, sign the petition. Sign the petition for Ms. Arnold. We are making that move happen, well over 4,000 signatures. We just started it yesterday. You have made virtually all of those signatures happen. Make sure you sign this petition, okay? Right now, we have, how many we got? Last I checked, it was like 4,000, going close to 4,200. I'm sure we are well over that by now, okay? But you can sign that petition. Go to tyt.com/petitions, and it is the first one that you see. But what else I need you to do is to take that link, share that link to your circle, and don't take for granted that people on your timeline are going to do the right thing. Call somebody, call them, say, hey, I'm gonna text you this link, or I'm going to tag you. I need you to do something with this link. I need you to sign it. I need you to share it with your network as well. And we can get this done. We can get our 10,000 signatures by the end of this week, okay? Not difficult to do, all right? I appreciate you in advance. We got more on the other side. Is indisputable, stick and stay. All right, welcome back. We got a lot of comments, let's get to it. Okay, TYT member, Starshine song Dragon. I think a show or segment based on that would be very interesting, talking about what Senator Turner recommended. I think it would be helpful for people to be better allies and maybe even understand things on a deeper level than they did before. I agree 100%. And we'll make something happen, okay? Eileen, Funky Cole, Medina, Mama Dragon. Is there a global supply issue on cigarettes? I don't think so. And I find it really interesting. Like we could run out of everything. We run out of gas. Yeah, we've run out of gas before. I don't remember ever running out of cigarettes in America. Whoever is the cigarette person needs to be the gas person. That's what I'm saying, okay? Colorado Blue Blazer regular. Glad those people stood up in this case. Which those pathetic monsters on the Philly subway had defended another person too. Exactly, that was so damn sad and egregious. There's no way, like I'm not a person that wants more laws, but if you witness something like that and do nothing, I think there should be a law that says you can get arrested for that. Donald Simmons, A smoker Karen, I feel attacked, LOL, I've been there. Hazy Dragon, it's very true. When you need a SIG, you need a SIG. Forbesilla, I worked at a gas station for 2 years, never had someone act like that for some SIGs. RJ Gabura, I've quit smoking hundreds of times and never did that. Hazy Dragon, they were all just waiting for a reason to jump in, LOL, they were eager. Twitch, Northern Ice Dragon, if they didn't have SIGs, then where did she think he was going to get them from? Pull them out of his ass? I don't think she cared. You know, the Karenicity jumbled with the nicotine craving, nothing's logical anymore. All right, Captain Cornball. That's how it is on the London Underground. Don't make eye contact, but stay alert. All right. Okay. Very sad story. What if I told you that a 10-year-old black kid, disabled, was arrested for a drawing? It actually happened. Black disabled student singled out by police and arrested while her mother was detained over something that the 10-year-old drew. All right? The ACLU has gotten involved. Let me give you some background to this story. The wrongful arrest of a disabled 10-year-old black girl and unlawful detainment of her mother has become the catalyst behind demands for school level change in Hawaii. Okay? That's where this is. At the helm of the demands is the American Civil Liberties Union, which claims the mother, Tamara Taylor, and her daughter were both traumatized by the incident that occurred last year at Hanawa Elementary. January 10th, 2020, let me take you there. Taylor and the ACLU allege her daughter, who was diagnosed as having attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, was singled out by school police for drawing an offensive sketch in retaliation to a non-black student that was bullying her. I don't give a damn what the sketch is. I know some people say, well, what was in the drawing? Who cares? It's a drawing, okay? I don't give a damn what she drew. While the ACLU argues that drawing is an outlet utilized in the student's treatment and in therapy for ADHD, none of that was taken into consideration when school officials removed her from class to be interrogated by police. 10-year-old disabled child arrested, period. You can just stop, period, with that. Arrested. What can a 10-year-old do to get arrested inside of a school building? Over a drawing just adds injury to it, that's it. But it shouldn't happen at all in the first place. Taylor said she was notified of the incident and immediately made her way to the school. This is Mama Bear. Mama has been told what's happening. What does she do? She comes right to the institution. She comes to the school. There she spoke with school officials and officers in a separate part of the building, all while assuming her child was in class. Who's going to assume the 10-year-old is being arrested for a picture? Nobody. So she thought the child was in class. Taylor was informed that the parent of the other student had requested police be called and was considering pressing charges. Wait a minute. So there's no victim because a drawing cannot create a victim. So you're saying that the parent said, hey, you see this drawing? Call the police here. I'm pressing charges. For what? What's the crime? What's the statute? You need a gun? Remember, when you call 911, who are you calling? You're calling a gun to a situation because you think a gun needs to be the remedy. So this parent demands police intervention, okay? Over drawing, 10-year-old. Here it is, there's more. Taylor was informed that the parent of the other student had requested police be called and was considering pressing charges. When Taylor asked if mediation would be possible, The school official seemingly sided with the other child's parents. Look at that. Look at that. At that point, she was made aware that her child was no longer in class and instead being held in a cold room with officers who had handcuffed her. Taylor's request to be reunited with her child during the questioning was denied. Now see, that's when I would have needed bail money. Okay? My 10-year-old over drawing, you are arresting her and telling me I cannot see my child inside of the school? It gets deeper. The Department of Education was grossly negligent in not taking reasonable steps to prevent such absurd acts, while also taking extraordinary and offensive steps to prevent Ms. Taylor from protecting or even speaking with her own child. That's what the ACLU wrote, and I stand with the ACLU 100%. In the end, Taylor, the mother, was forced to stand in horror as her handcuffed daughter was transported where? To the police station, where they take all of the criminals. Like a 10-year-old girl, disabled, who made a picture. She was also suspended from school. This is your school to prison pipeline happening at one time. Do you understand? Get them accustomed to being locked up, to being penalized, to being treated like adults while they're children. Your school to prison pipeline right in front of you, all happening at the same time. All our actions the ACLU has expressed proves the agencies involved acted negligently in handling the incident, as well as show a discrepancy in the punishments disabled students face. This is one of the most egregious scenes I have heard about on a school campus, right? This is up there, okay? Senator Turner, I want your thoughts. You've worked in government, you've represented people, you've had to talk to parents, you get involved. What do you see here, and what do you think needs to happen now?
Well, first of all, every institution that was involved in this needs to be reevaluated. The way they handled the situation was not only wrong, it was abhorrent. And when we talk about systemic racism and this is a prime example, people, of the system operating in an anti-Black way. Hello, somebody. I mean, this is it. From the school level officials to the DOE, law enforcement, all of them. You arresting a 10-year-old baby. And that's another thing that I want people to understand. They can go look this up themselves. Black children are often seen as older, treated older than any other children. So hence, they are not allowed to be children because the system itself, people who make up that system treat them different. And this is not the first time, and God knows it should be the last time, but it's not gonna be the last time unless we raise up our voices. So the entire system needs to answer for the way this mother and her child was treated. And that mama was awfully calm, because I'm with you, Doc. They definitely would have been taking Sister Turner to jail. Somebody doing my baby like that. My grandmother used to have the saying, somebody going to hell and I'm going to jail. And that's what would have happened that day.
I would have flipped all kind of cafeteria tables over. I know that's right. At the conclusion of this, Senator Turner, they found out that the 10-year-old child was not even solely responsible for the drawing.
And that other parent too, again, using the police as a weapon against Black folks. Y'all got to stop doing that. This ain't just any Black folks. This was a 10-year-old child, for God's sake. And the mother asked for mediation. I mean, is that the responsible thing
Very reasonable.
To do?
This mother did everything she was supposed to do. Very reasonable. Senator Joe Manchin, let's just play the video. Here it is.
I can't control rumors, and it's spelled with a B-U-L-L capital B.
I asked you, but.
Yeah, the senator is lying. So here's the thing, okay? He has been accused of basically engaging in a very strategic process in order to sell out his party. Manchin's opposition to key provisions, including Medicare, Medicaid expansion, and expanding child tax credit and measures to address climate change, has been an obstacle that the Democrats have yet to overcome. He told associates that he has a two-step plan for exiting the party. First, he will send a letter to Senator Chuck Schumer, the top Senate Democrat, removing himself from the Democratic leadership of the Senate. He is vice chair of the Senate Democrats Policy and Communications Committee. Manchin hopes that would send a signal. He would then wait and see if that move had any impact on the negotiations. After about a week, he said he would change his voter registration from Democrat to independent. Now, all of this is to manipulate the outcome of a policy agenda that he is not supporting, okay? Now, when he's confronted, he says it's bullish. Come on, stop flexing, dude. You got caught. Now, the reporting, this was in Mother Jones, they stand by this. They stand by this, this was his plan. This is what he planned to do. Senator Turner, what are your thoughts?
He already sent a signal. I mean, how many more signals do the Democratic Party need? They gave this man too much power, him and Senator Sinema, over the process in the first place. I'm telling you, as I've said before, I'm gonna say this again. If I were President Joe Biden, I would tell Senator Joe Manchin that I'm relocating the West Wing to West Virginia.
Exactly.
Brother, I ain't got to put up with your foolishness on something of this magnitude, given all the hell that people are catching. I need this agenda to pass. And you know what? Rather than to deal with a Demopublican, I might as well just go and deal with the real thing.
Come on.
That's
Preach
it,
sister.
They gave him too much power, Doc, and I'm over it. He keeps just sucking up all the oxygen. This man is set for the rest of his natural life and his children too. But he don't give a care about the children of West Virginia. West Virginia is one of the poorest states in the United States of America. And this dude playing games, these people playing games. And Doc, I'm gonna take this one step further. There are some Democrats hiding behind Manchin and Sinema. You can best believe that.
That's right, they are. They are, and listen, we're gonna have a whole show about that. We gotta break this down segment by segment.
Come on.
All right, because I'll be damned. This cat, he got a lot of protection.
Yes.
And it's Democrats. They playing the other game. All right. This dude, Nicholas Cruz, pleaded guilty to murdering 17 during the murderous rampage. Remember this, Parkland. The high school in Parkland, Florida, was so damn sad. But let me say this: when you see this video, all right, whatever time he got, you need to go ahead and quadruple that. Here's his, I don't know, confession.
I am very sorry for what I did, and I have to live with it every day. And that if I were to get a second chance, I will do everything in my power to try to help others. And I am doing this for you, and I do not care if you do not believe me. And I love you, and I know you don't believe me, but I have to live with this every day, and it brings me nightmares, and I can't live with myself sometimes, but I try to push through because I know that's what you guys would want me to do. I hate drugs, and I believe this country would do better if everyone would stop smoking marijuana and doing all these drugs and causing racism and violence out in the streets. I'm sorry, and I can't even watch TV anymore. And I'm trying my best to maintain my composure, and I just want you to know I'm really sorry. And I hope you give me a chance to try to help others. If I believe it's your decision to decide where I go, whether I live or die. Not the jury's, I believe it's your decision. I'm sorry.
Self-serving, one of the most insane guilty pleas I have ever heard in my life, okay? All right, Senator Turner, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he said he can't live with himself. He can hardly live with himself. Well, you kill people who are not living anymore right now.
Yeah, very sad, very unfortunate. And if I were the judge, whatever time you got, I would have just had to add on to that and say, this is the new deal. All right, I appreciate you so much, Senator. Thank you for always joining us every Thursday. And thank you for being part of the team.
Thanks, Doc.
Remember, take care of yourself, take care of each other, take care of the planet. Remember, the truth is always indisputable.